If you're thinking about making a pact, stop. I'm serious. You've probably heard the stories, the ones about people who sold their souls in exchange for fame, fortune, or power. Those stories that are so scary they're almost funny, right? A cliché, maybe? Maybe you've scoffed at them, thinking they're just myths created to scare the weak-minded, a part of old folklore that only the superstitious still believe in. But I need you to understand one thing. If you follow through, if you actually make this pact, you'll learn the hard, terrifying way that the cost is much, much more real than you can imagine. It's not just a matter of signing your name in blood or whispering your wishes to an unseen presence in the darkness. No. Making a pact is inviting something dark and ancient into your life. Something that will cling to you like a shadow, something that will feed on your fears, your doubts, your deepest regrets. And the worst part is that the moment you accept the agreement, you are not just committing your soul to the afterlife. The pact begins to take effect immediately, from the moment you take the first step, and you will begin to notice changes in yourself. But the most terrifying thing of all is that you will not realize exactly what you have lost until it is too late. The first signs, reflections that lie. In the first few days, the changes are subtle. When you pass by a mirror, you will feel that something is wrong, but you will not know exactly what. Your image in the glass will no longer match your movements precisely. You will look in the mirror and something in your reflection will seem wrong. It is not that your reflection does not move in the same way, but it seems to know something that you do not. It has a dark, almost mocking expression, as if it is amused by your ignorance, laughing at your former confidence. Sometimes, when you look at it, you'll get the feeling that it's reflecting something much deeper and more dangerous, something that you don't yet fully understand. The whispers, the presence begins to speak. And then, the whispers begin. At first, they're barely noticeable. A light breeze, the rustling of dry leaves, or a distant noise that you can't quite place. You'll hear them in moments of absolute silence, when you're home alone, or lying in bed in the dark of night. At first, you may even ignore the sounds, thinking that it's your mind playing tricks on you. But soon, the whispers will become more intense, and eventually, they'll start calling your name. They'll get closer and closer, and soon you won't be able to escape their words anymore. They'll remind you of your worst fears, your deepest regrets. The voice seems to come from inside your head, and the worst part is that, as the days go by, you start to question your own sanity. These are the screams of a mind in collapse, slowly being invaded by something much darker. Have you ever heard of those who start hearing voices? They say they are the manifestation of something beyond human comprehension, something that lives deep within the mind and takes advantage of emotional fragility to take shape. Imagine that these voices are more than just psychological manifestations. They are a real presence, a force that is taking over your consciousness, a force fueled by the pact you made. And the worst part? You can no longer distinguish between what is real and what is not. The loss of time, what is really happening? As time goes on, things start to get stranger. You start to lose hours, days, without understanding how time has passed. Have you ever felt like you lived an entire moment and, when you look at the clock, realize that only a few minutes have passed? Now imagine this happening frequently. You will find yourself in places you do not remember having been. You will hold objects that you do not remember having touched. And when you wake up, you will feel a sense of emptiness, as if you had been dreaming the whole time, but in an extremely vivid way. The line between what is real and what is an illusion begins to blur. And your nights will become increasingly terrifying. The nightmares you will begin to have are more intense than any nightmare you have ever experienced before. Dreams of pain, suffering, and terror. You will find yourself trapped in labyrinths of pain, trying to escape, but always failing. Something or someone will always be in your shadow, waiting for the right moment to strike. What lies beyond perception? Shadow entities and their movements. As the pact begins to consolidate its power over you, the situation becomes even worse. Something will begin to manifest itself. You will notice movements in the corners of your eyes, shadows that do not adjust to the light, dark figures that seem to disappear as soon as you try to look directly at them. What you do not know is that these shadows are more than just figments of your imagination. They are the physical manifestations of the evil that now accompanies you. An entity that is fed by your anguish, by your fear. It will begin to show itself in increasingly explicit ways, until you can no longer distinguish between reality and its presence. Have you ever wondered why the shadows seem to grow denser when you are alone? They are not just shadows. They are pure darkness, the substance of that which you have summoned. As you get closer to the end, this entity will become more and more audible, more visible. It will show itself in grotesque forms, even trying to communicate with you in ways you could never have anticipated. The alienation, losing everything around you. And when you finally reach the point where your friends and family notice the changes, it will be too late. They will see the signs in you. Your eyes are empty, as if nothing human is left in them. Your skin turns pale, your energy fades. Those who cared about you will begin to pull away, fearing what you have become. There will be no one left to help you. They know that the darkness you have attracted is now contagious. And once it begins to consume you, it begins to consume everything around you. The ultimate price, the death of the soul. And when you are finally at your weakest, when the fight for your sanity has been lost, the entity will demand payment. But the payment will not just be your soul. That is what you thought you were offering in the beginning. But what it will actually take will be so much more. She will rip away everything you love most. She will destroy the things you value most. She will take away the people around you, one by one, until you have no one left. Until you are completely alone, wandering in the darkness. And as she does so, she will begin to chip away at your humanity. With each piece that is ripped from you, what is left will be a warped and broken version of who you once were. An empty shell, controlled by something that no longer has any connection to the human world. A warning, the price of the pact. So if you are truly considering making a pact, I urge you to reconsider. There is no going back. The price will always be much higher than you can imagine. And once you have taken that step, you will never be free. The shadow you have summoned will never leave you. The whispers will never stop. The feeling of being followed will be constant. You will never be truly alone, because the darkness will always be at your door, waiting. And the worst part? You'll start to like it. The fear, the darkness, the feeling that you're in touch with something beyond human comprehension, it'll all become a part of you. And eventually, you'll become the very thing you feared. Because when you make a pact, you're not just opening the door to something supernatural. You're giving yourself over to the terror itself, which will infiltrate every part of your life until there's no escape.